Yo, what is up, everybody? This is Killer K-Rail, and I am reporting live from my apartment in Park City, Utah. I don't know how many of you are going to be on right now. You're probably out enjoying this beautiful Memorial Day weekend. I woke up this morning, and it was snowing like a banshee, and it was about 35 degrees. All of a sudden, the sun came out, and I could see that the skies are turning blue, and there's big white clouds out there. And I'm praying that it gets a little bit warmer today. As long as the sun is out, I'm good. Anyway, it's never too early and never too late to do a movement break. So, let's get down to it and let's do a movement break. I'm still a little sweated up from my workout, actually. I had a late workout today because I actually slept in, and I never sleep in. The latest I ever sleep in is probably 7 a.m. in the morning. Are any of you out there like that the same way? I'm curious to know if you consider 7 a.m. sleeping in. When I tell someone I sleep in and it's 7 a.m., they look at me like this and their eyebrow goes up in the air and they're like, are you freaking kidding me? 7 a.m.? They're like, that's not sleeping in. That's not even close. Well, when you're used to waking up at 4 a.m. or 4:30 all during the week, 7 a.m. works for me, and that's considered sleeping in. And my mind starts rolling as soon as I wake up because there's like 45 gerbils in there running around on treadmills, and my brain just starts activating and working. So I gotta move my body ASAP when I wake up in the morning. Speaking of which, we're gonna jump back there and we're gonna do a fun little exercise called Thread the Needles. Are you ready? Let's go and do it. I'm gonna move my camera down and I'm gonna move it back because I need to be in frame. Am I in frame? I think I am. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna come into I call it a front leaning rest position. You can call it a plank if you'd like. Hands on your shoulders, feet together. We're going to lift our hips up in the air. Now, we're going to lift our right leg, and we're going to swoop around in a circle. And then we're going to place our toes on the floor, right in line with this hand. And then we're going to kick this leg up, scoop it around, put these toes in line with this hand. And then we're going to go back and forth. So we're going to move our body back and forth like this. And as soon as this foot is touching, the other foot is gingerly coming off the ground. I like the word gingerly. See that? Just go thread the needles. Because right here, your foot is coming around and it's threading a needle. See that? Brilliant. Oh yeah, that feels terrific. So that right there is a bit of a core exercise as well as, let me readjust my camera, as well as a good mobility drill too, all into one. That exercise is kind of fashioned off of yoga, if you notice. And that brings me to the next thing I want to talk about, and that's this. Yoga. Okay, so back in 2004, interestingly, in 2004, I was working at this awesome health food store back in Pennsylvania, part-time, called Everything Natural, where I made some really good friends, I met some really great people, and I'm still really good friends with those people to this day. And one of which, her name was Nora. And if she's out there watching, hi Nora, she lives in Fort Collins, Colorado now, one state away from me, ironic. We both grew up in Pennsylvania, I moved to Utah, she moves to Fort Collins. Anyway, one day, we got into this jaw-jacking session about bodybuilding and working out and training and yoga. And she was a yoga instructor. So she'd always challenge me to come to her class and said I would get destroyed and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, get out of here. Yoga's for sissies, blah, 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 blah. So one day I went to one of her yoga classes, finally in the evening. And the next day I pretty much couldn't move. Every muscle in my body hurt from head to toe, including my eyebrows. Well, eyebrows aren't really a muscle, but the muscles around my eyebrows, they hurt. So I instantly gained respect for yoga, and I became a student of the game at that point in time. So she then had me do a full wheel in class once, and I could barely get my shoulders off the ground. I was so pathetic at it. Basically, a full wheel is a full back bend where your body goes into like this big circular, graceful, beautiful pattern. And I've attended probably 10,000 yoga classes ever since then. And women usually can just pop them up like nothing, and they just drive me crazy. You can drive a tractor trailer or a caterpillar underneath them, because their back is arched so much. And I'm sitting there like, my elbows are bent, and I just look like a big old glob of white crap laying on the ground trying to do a freaking back bend. Anyway, she said a statement to me that resonated, and it changed my game for life. And she looked me right in the eye, and she said, K-Rail, back bends add years to your life. And I went, that's exactly what I did. This eyebrow literally went up in the air like that. I'm like, back bends add years to your life. And I thought about that, and I went online, I did a little research, and do you know something? Hey, Tommy, what's up? If your back, your vertebral column is in good working order, every single thing else is going to be in good working order. Here's the interesting thing. Your vertebral column goes down the back of your body here, across the center line of your body. And guess what? Gut health starts on the other side. If you focus on your gut health and you focus on your spine, what's up, Tommy? Good to see you, man. You are going to be in great shape. And I heard the words, back bends add years to your life. And what happened? I started working on back bends. I've never gotten good at them because I practiced them for a certain amount of time. Then I would just get lazy and I would go to something else. And then I'd bring them back and my back bends would improve for about a month, and I'd drop them and I'd go to something else. She said that to me, and all of a sudden I realized if you treat your spine really well and you prevent back pain and your spine is supple and it's in perfect alignment, there's so many neurons that run up down your spine, it's going to help you concentrate better, it's going to help you think better, it's going to connect all your body parts, and it's going to help you perform sports better. And it is super important, and it can add years to your life. So literally, that's when my biohacking journey had begun, because I started digging deep in 2004 into how can I reverse the aging process at the young old age of whatever I was, 20-something. I was some young punk running around the streets of Northeast PA. I was still wearing shoes back then. I didn't get into barefoot running until about 2010. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. What is relevant is backbends add years to your life because you want to keep your vertebral column as safe and sound as possible and as strong as possible. So I ask you all to start working on backbends, even if you just put your hands on the ground and start arching your back or just lying your stomach and start doing Supermans and stuff on a daily basis. That is money. We do flexion far too often. We're always hunched over like this, right? We sit and we're on our computers, we're behind the wheel of the car, we're on our phones, we're always hunched. And now I go to Whole Foods and everybody's wearing masks and gloves and they're all developing rounded shoulders, crossbody complex like this because they walk around with their buggies and they put their hands on their buggies and they put their heads down. I can't tell who's who. And honestly, I'm starting to think that people are liking this whole mask and glove thing way too much. I go into stores and they're starting to look like thugs and stuff. And I don't mean to be stereotyping here or anything, but have you ever watched any of those cop shows on TV and they show the surveillance cameras when those bandits come running into buildings and like convenient marts and they're brandishing guns or knives and they have like masks on and like bandanas on their face and they have gloves on and they're kind of like all hunched up and they look like really, cracked out and crazy. Well, I'm seeing people now that are acting like that at the stores and they're getting these masks that have like all these weird prints on them and stuff. And I'm like, wait a second, you guys are taking this way, way, way too far. You're starting to look like thugs and you're starting to freak me out. So anybody that's out there thinking this is like a fun or a hobby for you to wear masks and gloves and like make people scared, stop it, because you're scaring me. I walk in there and I try to pull my shoulders back and I smile when I go in and I have my hat on backwards and people look at me like I'm some kind of criminal and I'm there to have fun. I'm there to buy fun groceries. I'm there to get organic stuff to put in my kombucha blends. And people are starting to look like thugs and they're scaring me. So stop it. Stop scaring people. Anyway, in my opinion, the true matter is this. We're focusing way too much on protection right now and hand sanitizer and soaps and like masks and gloves and hats and eyeglasses and sunglasses. Throw all that stuff out the window. Get your buns outside. Get in the sunshine right now. Take off your shoes and walk across the grass. Take off your shirt and lie on the ground and go like this. Praise Jesus and thank God for being alive, first of all. Hug the earth. Now is the time. More than any. We're starting to go into the yellow phase now. I went to a bar last night and saw my good friend Corey play, and it was awesome. It felt so good to be out in public again and around people. We weren't allowed to walk over and hug people. We weren't allowed to fraternize with people. We had to be 6 feet away. Tables of 4 or tables of 6 was the rule. I'm okay with that for now because at least I got to go out and at least I experienced like connection with people again. Right now, 100% of our attention, 100% of it should be focused on how in the heck can I biohack my system? How can I boost my immunity through the roof? How can I lose weight? How can I get in the best shape of my life to prevent any illness or disease from hitting me? How can I prevent the backlash of the coronavirus, which everybody's predicting is going to happen as states and nations and counties start to reopen all their doors to all the businesses? I think 100% of your attention should be devoted to what can I do to improve my health right now in the very moment, in this present moment. To me, that's all that ever matters. That's all that ever did matter. And all the way back in 2004, I learned that backbends add years to your life. So what am I doing? I'm doing backbends a lot more right now. I'm outside a lot. I don't care how cold it is. If the sun's out, my buns are out there. And I'm at a park or I'm walking out. I did a barefoot walk right down the road the other day, 2 miles. When you walk barefoot on grass, on concrete, on sand, on gravel, on dirt, on roots, on rocks, you get a massive amount of negative ion kickback from the earth into your body. That puts your body into homeostasis. That boosts your immune system. If the sun is shining down on you, vitamin D goes through the roof. Your body releases it. Vitamin D is a massive natural immunity booster. So those are some tricks of the trade that you should be thinking about right now. Forget about the masks, especially when you're outside. Breathe in the particles of air. This brings me to the next thing I'm thinking about. If you constantly use hand sanitizers and you're constantly washing your hands and you're constantly wearing masks and you're constantly exposing yourself to no one and you're locking yourself in your bedroom and you're not coming out and you're social distancing, guess what's going to happen? The insides of your body are going to get weak. If you stop working these babies, guess what's going to happen to that baby right there? Flab. That's what. It's going to go to pot and it's going to get weak and it's not going to get strong. It's not going to be strong anymore. You need to continually work your muscles in your body to maintain a strong structure. Now, the inside of your body works the same way. If you don't expose your immune system to certain bacteria and certain germs and certain spores and certain fungi out in the streets, your insides and your ability to fight off germs and colds is going to get weak. That's a bad thing when you do finally get a germ that hits you, because you're going to get floored, you're going to get knocked out. You don't want that to happen. You need to trigger it. You need to trigger your systems so they build up and they get stronger, and your antibodies go through the roof, and your immune system goes through the roof. And by building a strong immune system, by what I said earlier, that's going to work. By exposing yourself to a little bit of particles of spores and different things out in Mother Nature and out in the streets, that's going to boost your immunity too. So I am not a doctor, no, but I've got like 3 clients that are, and I have these conversations with them every single day, and they all tell me the same thing, and it's what I'm telling you right now. What I allege is what I talk to them about, and they agree 100%. They're also telling me that the thing about the germs landing on a counter and being, strong for like weeks in a row, they said absolutely completely overrated, not true at all. They also told me this: if you happen to get the coronavirus, it does not take 2 weeks to incubate. You'll know in 72 hours if you have it. That's 3 days. If you don't have it in 3 days, you're good to go. That's another myth I'm hearing out there, debunked. And I'm hearing this directly from doctors. I'm not just a guy talking smack and saying conspiracy junk here. I'm giving you the truth. Now, this leads me to the next thing I want to talk about. I went to Sparks, Nevada a couple weeks ago for a 3-day video and photo shoot for a project that's forthcoming, so stay tuned. In the meantime, go to Fitness for 10 Facebook group and like the page. We're going to be filtering a bunch of stuff on there. Just telling you that right now. So when I get behind the wheel of a car and I drive long distances, I have a tendency to drive like 30 hours away because I've driven back east before and back multiple times just for fun because I was out there for workshops. I have a lot of time to witness the earth and my surroundings and beautiful views, and clarity starts to hit me, and I get a lot of endorphins rushing in my head, and I get to think. So I realized this. I want to talk about my vegan journey. Back on October 1st, I said I'm going to go completely plant-based vegan, strict plant-based vegan for an entire year, and I'm going to have nothing. I'm going to have no honey, no lactose, nothing with dairy in it, absolutely strict vegan. I want to see if I can make it. But I said, and here's where the asterisk came in, I said, if along the way, anything that happens with my body feels weird or wonky, and I feel I need to start eating meat again, I will pull the trigger and do that. So, fast forward to 2 nights ago. Actually not. Fast forward to my drive across the country. I realized, similar to the fact that you have to expose your body to certain certain antibodies in the air and spores and things to build your immune system up, your body kind of has to do the same thing. All of a sudden I realized recently, I started going back to my eating disorder mentality. And I was getting way too restrictive with my diet. It started taking me over a little bit. And I was avoiding contact with people. I was avoiding events. I was avoiding things. Yes, I know we're on quarantine, but things start opening up around here. And I know when I'm going too far with my diet because I have the disorder eating background. And I realized, I think I'm getting carried away right now because I'm being too restrictive, and I was able to notice it. Years ago, I wasn't able to notice it. I went off the deep end. Now I am. And what I realized was, I feel recently that I'm a little softer than normal. I feel recently I'm having a little bit harder time losing weight than I used to. Now maybe I'm just playing games with myself in my brain because it's only May yet. Usually like July is when I get in like the peak of my condition for the year. But I started using the idea of you have to expose your body to certain antibodies to build your immune system up. Well, I feel like when you eliminate whole food groups, you have to compensate for what you might be missing out on. Now there's all kinds of, I know there's a lot of vegans out there, and I respect all of you. I respect all of you for what you eat. If you do keto, if you eat meat or whatever, that's great. I always say you've got to have awareness on what works best for you and your body. And I wanted to see if being completely strict vegan for a year was going to be the best option for me. Well, I'm here live telling you that I'm going to start adding meat back into my diet. And I'm only going to eat meat occasionally. I'm going to probably have it twice a week. I'm going to have very specific types. I have to make sure that it's clean, it's hormone antibiotic free. I don't like the chemicals and the junk that is put into animals as they're being raised. But I do know this. If you eliminate something completely, you have to compensate somewhere else. So if you eliminate exercise from your life and you just work 60-hour weeks, what's going to happen? You're going to make a ton of money, but you might be subjecting yourself to poor diet, weight gain, diabetes, claustrophobia. I mean, anything could possibly happen. Balance is the key, my friends. Balance. You always want to think in terms of balance, and you want to think in terms of what's the best option for me. I know for a fact my body does really good with eggs, with salmon, with liver, organ meat, dark meat. It does good with animal protein because that's what I used to eat all the time. And my first theory when it came into my journey was always make sure the food is clean that you're going to eat. Make sure it's hormone antibiotic free, no chemicals or pesticides, no high fructose corn syrup, no acesulfame potassium. Make sure it's the cleanest sources as possible. Then I started thinking, well, I'm trying to reverse the aging process. I'm biohacking, so I'm going to eliminate meat because it triggers the mTOR pathway too much. Yes and no, because I also do time-restricted eating. I don't eat for 16 to 18 hours every day, and I'll have 2 meals, and then normally I fast for a minimum of 48 hours once a month. When you're going through a time-restricted eating protocol like that, and you're tight with it, and you eat clean meat, I still think 16 hours is enough of a time for your body to come back down to homeostasis, all your systems to regulate, and your hormones to regulate, and I don't think you're getting so much of an mTOR spike so often that it's going to cause massive inflammation or the risk for diabetes to go up or cancer or any of the things that a high amount of animal protein can cause, which has been scientifically studied. Again, not me talking smack. I have scientists and doctors that I talk to all the time. So everything that I say is fact-based from where I'm coming from. Now, I decided taking a supplement to compensate for the fact that I'm not getting enough carnitine and iron and omega-3s and B12s in my diet isn't really the best course of action. Yes, it might be clean, it might be all organic, but I don't feel like doing that anymore. Plus, I've been feeling kind of weak. So here's what's happening. Here's what happened, and here's what's going to happen. Who's that? Hey, Ed, what's up? Doc, how's it going? Dr. Ed McLaren, if any of you need any dental work done, make sure to hit this guy up. He is the best in the nation. He lives right down the road here in Pine Brook. He's awesome. Anyway, I decided that June 1st marks the day I'm going to start integrating meat back into my diet. It's going to be really clean. I'm probably going to eat meat twice a week. I'm probably still going to avoid dairy. If I do dairy, it's probably going to be raw milk, raw cheese, if I can find it still somewhere around here. I think Heber has some. Or it's going to be minimal amounts. I'm going to allow honey back in my diet again. Honey is a superfood in my opinion, especially if it's raw and local. Because what I realize is if you have small amounts of animal protein in your diet 2 or 3 times a week, you then trigger all of the bacteria in your stomach and the enzymes necessary to break that down. Your body then goes into better balance because all of the enzymes and all the bacteria are then getting action and they're getting worked. It's like just doing bench presses and flies and cable crossovers for months and months in a row in the gym. What's going to happen? You're going to have a muscle imbalance. You're going to walk around the shoulders, your chest is going to be popped and it's going to be huge, but your back is going to be as weak as can be. I mean, I see people walking around like this all the time. Not the masked people either, just like gym people. And I can immediately tell that they're not doing a balanced workout. They're not balancing out by doing their posterior chain and their shoulders and their back. So that causes problems. And in my eyes, it can cause problems if you don't do things correctly or right. And I do things exactly right by the book when it comes to biohacking and when it comes to dieting. So meat is coming back in, small amounts, and I'm going to see how my body reacts. And that brings me to the funny story that happened 2 days ago. And this, I swear to you, is a direct sign right from God's lips to my ears. I'm over Whole Foods. And I was pressed for time, so I didn't have a lot of time to come home and prepare a meal. So I'm like, I'm going to get some of this vegan chicken salad. They have these little pre-made clamshell containers of, it's either buffalo chicken salad or Sonoma or curry chicken salad, and they're vegan. And they have a little green sticker on them, and they got a V on it. So you know it's vegan, and it's on a rack that says vegan. So I walk up to it, and there's one container left, and I go, oh, good, there's one left. I grab it. It said Sonoma, it wasn't Sonoma, it was buffalo chicken salad. Throw it in my buggy. Down the walkway I went, followed the arrows, did all the things, the 6 feet distancing, all that jazz. Go home excitedly to eat this vegan chicken salad. Well, comes time to eat that vegan chicken salad. I take a bite of it. I'm watching a show on television. I forget what it was. I'm chomping away. I'm like, gosh, this stuff tastes dry. It tastes like, kind of tastes stale. I'm like, that's the weirdest vegan stuff I've ever had. I swallow it. Didn't really think about it because, again, I wasn't really paying complete attention. Take another big bite of it. Start chewing it. I'm about to swallow it. And all of a sudden, I bite into something really rubbery and chewy. And I pinched it in my teeth and I swallowed the chicken and then I spit it into my hand. I look at it and I was like, that's exactly what I did. I went like that. Lo and behold, it was a piece of gristle. It was chicken. They put regular chicken salad in my container of vegan chicken salad. So what did I do? I'll tell you what I did. I sat there. After bite number 2, this happened. I swear to you this happened. My eyesight increased by 10%. It got like laser light focused. My brain function, I was a little tired that night. My brain function went through the roof. My energy went through the roof, and my arms literally felt like I just got a shot of steroids. This is hormone antibiotic-free chicken, mind you, because I got it at Whole Foods. They don't have any of the hormones with garbage in them. After 2 bites, that is what I experienced and that is what I felt. What did I do? I polished off that whole container of chicken, that's what. And I took the container and I went like this. Threw it over my shoulder. You know what? That is a sign right there. When I say create awareness in your diet, you got to create awareness and you got to see how food works for you. I ate that meal. I finished that chicken salad and I felt like Superman. I was solid as a rock. I didn't feel flabby at all. I didn't feel weak at all. I woke up yesterday. I go to my friend Jill's and work out in her garage. I felt like Superman. My energy was through the roof. My brain function was through the roof. Again, I felt solid as a rock. I felt amazing. That is awareness. That was a sign from God to me that yes, K-Rail, you're doing the right thing. Get the chicken, eat it, start back up with the animal protein again. So, bottom line is this. I've been feeling kind of weak lately. I've been feeling a little softer than normal. And I just haven't been feeling myself. I had that little bit of animal protein the other day. I felt snap back into it like that. So that tells me that what I'm doing is the right thing. And I talked to my friend Jill yesterday, who cupped my arm. Do you see the marks right there? Because I jacked up my brachioradialis a little bit yesterday when I was doing archer push-ups. I'll be doggone. She cupped my arm last night. If you check it might still be on my Facebook story. She cupped it. Put a little bit of CBD cream on there. I'll be darned. It's like 80% better today. I can't believe it. So I firmly believe in cupping. If any of y'all want to get some cupping done. Anyway, bottom line is I'm going to doing the K-vegan diet. That's right, the K-vegan diet. That's what I'm going to call it. So I'll probably have animal protein twice a week. I'm going to start eating sushi maybe once a week. And I'm going to have some eggs once a week. And I'm thinking of going nothing but, not just animal protein, but like organ meats. I'm thinking of doing organ meats for 1 month as my main source of protein. I'm a big fan of liver. I always loved it. People are like, that's disgusting, it's gross. It's actually not. I think it tastes really good. It has got a massive amount of heme iron in it. Heme iron, H-E-M-E, is a very highly absorbable form of iron. And if you don't know what iron does, iron oxygenates your blood cells. So when you're working out and you're doing bicep curls and stuff, you want to have a high amount of oxygenated blood going to your muscles, to your hardworking muscles, to develop energy, to do your reps, and to build muscle. So heme is very important, heme iron. You can't get heme iron from plant-based sources, very small amounts. So I might try, just for fun, my next experiment might be a month of organ meats and eggs, and that's it. But that's to be determined. Anyway, that's my story, and I'm definitely sticking to it, and it's time for me to go. I didn't mean to ramble on this long, but sometimes I get long-winded and I have a lot to say, and I had to get it off my chest. So I'm telling you all this right now. Follow what's best for you. Don't do a diet plan because Mildred down the hallway from you in the office, who's wearing a mask and gloves, is following the keto diet. Don't do it because she's doing it. Do it because you found out that you're pre-diabetic, and the best way to avoid that, and full-blown diabetes, is by going keto. Don't give up gluten because Charlie on the other side of the office gave up gluten and he lost 20 pounds. Well, Charlie down at the other side of the office gave up gluten, but he gave up all grains and he eats nothing but fruits and vegetables and clean meats and organic stuff. That's why he lost weight, and he exercises an hour a day. So don't be fooled by certain things because other people do them. Do what is best for you. Give up gluten because you eat gluten and your stomach starts bloating and you're falling asleep and you feel like crap. Give up mushrooms because you break out in hives after you eat mushrooms. Give up eggs because you get really bloated and you get really bad gas after you eat eggs. You see where I'm going with this? You have to be responsible for you. Don't do it because someone else is doing it. Don't do it because someone else is shoving it down your throat, no pun intended. Do it because it makes you a wonderful, happy human being from front to back, up and down, all around. Okay? Last time in business, my crew, Park City Environmental Coalition, we're picking up trash tomorrow. 10:45 a.m. in the morning. We're meeting at the Winter Sports School right up here, and we're going to clean Route 224 that goes right down the side of my house. And it is filthy. So, I want all of y'all watching right now, you got a long Memorial Day weekend. Get a group of 5 to 10 people together, go outside, pick up trash for an hour, then come back to your house, then do your barbecues, and then play bocce ball. That's my request to all of you. And if you can't do that, at least pick up one piece of trash every single day. Never forget that one. And also, now that the coronavirus is starting to disappear a little bit and the restrictions are getting loosened up, you can totally go back to 8 hugs for 8 seconds every single day of the week. Always think in the present moment. Always do at least one thing beyond your comfort zone every single day. And always do at least one good deed without having any expectation of anything in return. Remember those 5 key points every single day, and you will obtain eternal health and happiness. Till next time, this is K-Rail, and I am signing off. Later.